I find there's a surprising commonality between this with other religious systems. Other religious systems have some surprising commonalities despite their big differences. One of those commonalities is that so many of them really like Jesus. They like this guy. Don't know what it is, they like this guy. There's this orbit of other religious systems around the person of Jesus. In Islam, Jesus is a prophet. He is born of a virgin. He performs miracles, but he's no more than a prophet, he's just a man. But he is a revered prophet in Islam. In Hinduism, some forms of Hinduism, some Hindus would say that Jesus is an incarnation of Vishnu. In Buddhism, some Buddhists have said that Jesus is an enlightened bodhisattva. He's an enlightened one. Secularism, even secularists will tell you that Jesus was at least a revolutionary who stood against the religious regimes of his day, and stood up for certain people who were marginalized. And so we like him as a revolutionary or at least a moral teacher. It's interesting, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, secularism, and of course Christianity seem to have this orbit around Jesus and this affinity for him. But the reality is, friends, when you look at his words and his deeds and what history tells us is that he did not come to give us warnings and prophecies about the future and how to live a good moral life, not just that. He did in fact do those, but not just that. Jesus claimed not to just bring wisdom and teaching. He said, I have come to give my life as a ransom for many. This is the very reason I've come. To die on a cross, to pay a debt the whole world deserves to pay. Because I have no debts of my own to pay, I can pay it for them. And then he said he would rise from the dead to prove he was right. Now, all these systems of belief have this affinity, this attraction to this Jesus. And my question becomes this: why him? Why him? Why do other systems of beliefs not hold on to each other? Why don't the Muslims embrace Buddha? Why don't the Hindus embrace Muhammad? Why do all of them seem to like this Jesus guy? But here's the thing, friends. They rob him of the very thing he came to do. They like his character. They like his teaching, but they don't like his cross. They try to rob him of that very statement. And so, to borrow a phrase from Samuel Zwemer, when they rob him of this cross, of the very reason he came, all these other faith traditions do what Judas did. They betray the Son of Man with a kiss. They kiss him on the cheek, but deny his very purpose.